G'day everyone. I was just about to upload another clip, one of my, I suppose, advocacy clips where I'm trying to talk common sense. I'm trying to bring out some discussion on points that affect us as Australians and as people of the world. I think the issue I'm trying to embrace here is something that affects every person in the world that values freedom. I was just about to upload this clip and I heard the terrible news from Australia about the killings of the terrible tragedy of the killing of policemen down in Victoria. Shocking, because I'm someone that has got quite a few mates that are in the police force, and I think the world of them. They are some of the greatest people I know. Sam, Nick, and old Max, and Macca, and you name it. Yeah, terrible thing that's happened. But the first thing that comes out is why. What drove somebody to this point? Okay, what happened? Now, on social media, we're seeing all these either facts or conspiracy theories or wild ideas, or they might be truths, all getting thrown out there. People talking that there was, the police tried to enter his house and there was no body cams on. Others are saying, yes, they were on. There's footage of this guy, this Desi, appearing in court previously, so he's well known to police. There's footage of this guy arguing with his neighbour with a camera on there over property boundaries. There's a lot to this. There's far more than meets the eye, but I also see people there basically saying, this guy's got to be shot, shoot him, kill him. Okay, just hold your horses, people. That's what I'm saying here now. Hold your horses. This guy and any person under our society deserves his or her day in court. That's what we're based on. Whether they are, in everybody's mind, absolutely guilty of what they've done. They could be absolutely guilty, but they still deserve the day in court. It's about time we put away the lynch mob mentality totally. If for some miracle that this message of mine gets out there to somebody that knows where this Desi is at the moment, I'd be saying, no more killing, no. Come in, right? If you have to put your story across to somebody in the media so you feel it's safe, do so, but put your guns down. Find yourself a really good solicitor if you haven't already done that. Get that person to pave the way so you can come in. We don't need this person dead. We need their story told so the conspiracies, the rubbish, the rabbit holes can all be filled in and the truth can come out on this. People are talking sovereign citizens and all this, and there might be grains of truth, there might be bucket loads of truth in it. Whichever way, now's the time this needs to be brought out. We've just seen, and right now, we've got the Australia marches going on right around Australia. People proudly holding the Australian flag, right? Or more than that, they've got the Eureka Stockade flag, they've got the Red End sign, and they've got the Australia flag and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander flags. But people of all nationalities and creeds and colours and whatever that see themselves as true Aussies are coming together and say, we need change in that country. And this is where it starts, something like this. Desi Freeman, lay your guns down. Everybody else, lay your guns down. It's not just about guns. And what I'm going to talk about now in this clip is about castle law, right? The right to defend yourself and how it spills over, not just from your house, but onto your property as well, right? Over the many years that I've been in this game, 50 years probably since I shot my first deer. I've been in the bush since I was 3 days old. I have had so many instances where I've had guns pulled on me and pointed in my face. I've been shot at 3 times. I've been attacked with a switchblade knife, and I've been attacked with a stick. I've had to defend myself in fist fights. I've had threats, but the worst ones are threats on my kids. I've had stock shot. I've had vehicles and even a helicopter sabotaged. And probably the worst of them all is even recently we had a fire started on the edge of our place, right? And many times I've seen property owners terrorised by people that will drop a match in their paddock and burn them out, right? So we're not just talking firearms here with this. And what we're seeing is the anti-gun people are using this opportunity to try and silence people like myself from having a conversation on things like castle law or the Katter Party or whoever else. They're trying to silence them by suggesting that all firearms owners or all people that believe in freedom are all some sort of crazies and we should have our rights taken away from us. No, we should be able to proudly stand up and say, we're decent people, we're not going to hurt anybody, we would like a discussion on this, a true open discussion on this. Let's look at the facts and figures and get this right. Let's not go off on some crazy tangent one way or the other. Let's get the truth. So here's my clip focused on hunting, property rights and castle law. I hope it sort of creates a little bit of discussion. Good morning, everyone. We're over here now in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. It's one of those wet old weekends here where it's, gazing out the window as the rain tumbles down and the mountains have disappeared in the fog and in the cloud. It certainly is a wonderful place, and it's given me a chance to just sit here over the last couple of weeks and reflect a little bit at times about the comparisons, the differences, the similarities between here and, say, back in Australia when it comes to hunting. Now, over here, to me, it's magnificent. I can go from here early in the morning, I can see moose on the side of the road, moose cows. I can see mule deer and white-tailed deer within the first 5 minutes of driving. Up the road a little bit, I can see elk. I've got elk on trail cameras on a couple of different properties here. Great stuff. There's black bear coming in, eating the berries on the side of the roads. Grizzly bear tracks, further down here. Awesome salmon coming up the rivers in the millions. It's incredible. And what makes it great over here is that they've got a system in place. You can get tags if you're residents. There's even non-resident opportunities here. You can buy tags. There's set seasons. You can go with a guide if you want. There's incredible amount of some of the most magnificent country in the world above us here as you go back up through British Columbia and towards Alberta and back up into top end of British Columbia, Yukon, Northwest Territories, Alaska. Just mind-blowing how beautiful and the abundance of game. But it only works because they have a system. And this is what I've been trying to convince our people back home. And I've put clips on there and I've tried to explain the situation as it is in Queensland and just warn people about what we're actually heading for, the troubles that we're facing. I've put those clips up there, and a lot of it has fallen on deaf ears because as Aussies, they simply say, she'll be right, mate. No, you don't know what you're talking about. We all know better. Now, over here in Canada, let's say you're allowed to fly drones, say thermal drones up these rivers, and there was no permits and tag system for moose, and you could zoom up there with your helicopter or your float plane, spot a moose, land and go and shoot it straight away. Shoot what you want, when you want, as many as you want. There'd be none left. if you had the right to just shoot a deer on the side of the road if you saw it, whenever you wanted for meat, there'd be none left. Same with the bear, same with the caribou, the whole lot would fall to bits. It works because they have a system. A lot of what we're hearing in Queensland from some of the state forest hunting people is we have this right. This land belongs to the people. We should be able to go where we want, do what we want. You landowners have no rights, rah, rah, rah. A lot of this rhetoric. Now, to me, these people are far more socialistic than I am. Far, far more socialistic. And if they drop the word comrade in there every now and again, you could believe that you were in a communist country, because they really believe that the right of the masses should overrun the right of the individual. And I say that if an individual landowner owns a piece of country, owns a bit of land, and they say no, well, that no means no. We have to preserve the rights of the individual to own something for themselves and to be able to protect it. Now, this is really, it's really driven home to me recently, because as I've put these clips up on YouTube, I have had a lot of really nasty comments come through. Now, some I've let go through so people can see them, but other ones are too abusive and too nasty that I just gong them. And that's my right. There's my channel. I'll gong people if I feel like it. You know, like the old, hey, it's Saturday. Gong them red, bang, you're gone. That's my right as well. Now, some of these people have been so nasty, and thinking about some of the characters I've run into over the years, a couple of the comments sort of made me think a bit. So I contacted one of my mates that is in the law enforcement business, and I said, what's going on here? So he actually checked on these people. Now, some of the names on Facebook and YouTube, you'll see the comments say people haven't got enough guts to use their real names. They're using a nom de plume, so you really don't know who you're dealing with. And this guy, my mate, he could not give me full details, but he come back to us and said at least two of these guys, Clark, have got convictions against them for either domestic violence or abuse of some form. One of them definitely is heavily involved in drugs, and another one has a mental health problem. Can't tell me who, names or anything else, but he said, be very careful. Righto. So I've got one of these guys that says he's coming down to visit me. Okay, good, bring it on. If it's what they want to do, right, it's certainly not scaring me. But I've got grandkids and kids and my partner Judy and friends and that around, and animals and property. This is all threats. This is domestic terrorism that these people believe they can get away with. Now, recently we had a great, I think a monumental finding in a court case where somebody that's been poaching, blatantly just slaughtering deer in Victoria on a well-managed herd of deer, coming on the landowner's property and just causing havoc. That person was convicted because they could prove intent, that person went on that property with intent. Right. Where am I getting to? Castle law. Okay? If anybody's following what's going on in Queensland, we've got the Katter Australia Party. Robbie Katter and Bob Katter are pushing for the Castle Law Bill, pushing it through. They've got a petition going around there, and I think it's got 80-odd thousand signatures. It goes through till the middle of October, as far as I can tell. I'll be urging everybody to get on and support that movement to bring in Castle Law. So what they're saying is, briefly, they're saying that a person should have the right in their own home to use as much force as is necessary to protect themselves, their family and their possessions. Okay, and if that means deadly force, if that's what's required, then that's what should be allowed. Now, if I'm talking to somebody from the United States, say Texas or whatever, is hearing me talk, you'd probably be amazed or shocked if you thought that we weren't allowed to use force to protect ourselves. You'd be shaking your head saying, is this crazy? But this is where we are in Australia, because we are very, very socialistic. We've had a socialistic left-wing influence in our government for so long that they believe that you should, if you've got a threat coming to you in your home, that you should be able to just ring the police and get the police to respond. Okay, that might work very well if you live just a block away from a police station. If you're 3 or 4 hours out on a property and something happens, you might get the police there next day. They'll get there in time to wipe up blood. Okay, so, this is where the castle law comes in. People should have the right to protect themselves. I'm fully supportive of that. But where does it end, people? Okay, bring it back to the hunting situation. If you've got a private property and somebody comes in onto your property, whether it be 1 acre or 100,000 acres, and they come onto your property with a firearm with intent to do harm to you, to either shoot a deer or discharge that firearm without permission, okay, and you present yourself to that person and say, hey, pull up, put your gun down, and they refuse, you're then potentially in a situation where that person has even thought about using that gun to defend themselves illegally on your property against you. What rights do you have? What rights should you have? It's something that I think every Australian should think about. And people watching this from overseas, I think if you can comment on it and give your opinions, it'd be good to start that conversation, because I believe no matter whether you're in your home or on your property, whether it be an acre or 100,000 acres, whatever, if you're there and somebody has come onto your property with intent to do harm, whether it be to steal something or shoot something or whatever, with a firearm, you should err on the side of caution. As one Texan said to me recently, he said, back home, he said, if you come in hot, you go out cold, okay? That's pretty serious talk. But what they're meaning is you come in with bad intentions into their house or onto their land, armed, and with the thought in your head that you'll do whatever is necessary to protect your evil ways, that you'll go out cold. I'm not saying that somebody has a right to just blast somebody as they come on, okay? Not at all. I've always said that if a lady, a young lady there with the kids out on a station somewhere and somebody rocks in the middle of the night that looks a shady sort of character, that they've got the option of going out there not armed. 5'3" lady goes out there and she's meeting, like 3 guys over 6 foot in the dark with bad intentions. What rights does she have? I believe that she should have the old twice barrel tucked under her arm, and she should present herself to those people and say, woo, pull up, don't enter my house, don't come any closer. What's your intention? She should be polite, respectful, ask them their intentions, and if they're just lost and need directions, well, this is the way, go back out through the gate, turn right, off you go, and no problems done. But if those people are there with bad intentions, she might only have seconds to defend herself and her family. She should have something to equal the score. She shouldn't just be there on a mobile phone trying to get reception, trying to get the police to attend, and they're 3 hours drive away. Okay? Castle law, I'd say to everybody, have a good look at it. The Katter guys, I think that they're going to find a lot of opposition in our present government, but they're going to find a lot of people that support it in the Liberal National Party, the present government in Queensland. A lot of good people in there that will see the need for this. So, have a good think about it, people. This comes down to how we want to be managed. Even our game animals, right? We don't want open slather, people go where you want, do what you want, because we're going to have more and more instance of people going across boundaries, chasing a pig dog, going in places when they're not supposed to be, confronting landowners, okay? I think we need a serious system, and that's what we have developed with the Ridge Group. We've developed a system that I think can work for Queensland, give access into state forest areas, give access onto private land, but also give landowners some certainty and some control over what happens on their own properties. Because what people are missing out on is, say, let's put the example of New Zealand. We've got the Wapiti herd down there in Fiordland. What a magnificent herd. They're now listing it as a herd of special interest. And people say, that's what we need with our deer in Queensland, our red deer in Queensland. And I fully agree. But Fiordland is this great heritage area, wild country. Queensland, the majority of our red deer run on the private freehold country of landowners. Full stop. So are we looking to put in place a system that overrides the rights of landowners, which I see as a socialistic system, or do we have a system that works with the landowners and everybody can benefit in a free market, free enterprise, private property respecting, more, let's say, democratic system? Okay, we need to look at what we want for the future, people. And a lot of that will come down to how we want to be governed, and a lot of that will come down to what rights you have as an individual landowner, homeowner, property owner. So castle law is going to be one of the great special ingredients that are needed to make this all work. Have a good look at the people.